Big 12 Radio. This is Big 12 Media Days 2026, visiting now with the defending Big 12 champion Texas Tech Red Raiders, Joey McGuire, joining James Westlake and myself, Ari Temkin, here at the Star in Frisco at the Ford Center. How are you, Coach?
Doing good, man. Fired up. I mean, we're at Media Day, so we're close to football season.
Anything going on this summer with you guys? Any busy summer at all?
Well, I had a great trip to Italy with my wife, and so that was good.
That sounds like fun.
It was.
Rome? Where'd you go?
We went. We stayed in Positano for 4 days, Rome for 4 days, Florence for 4 days. I did a cooking class. It was pretty impressive. Y'all would.
What'd you make?
Impressed. Oh,
pasta?
I have no idea. Pasta, homemade pasta. Literally from the get-go.
Oh, it's the best.
You know, and then
the food there is amazing.
It is. We had a blast. We had an absolute blast. Yeah, it's been eventful from April 16th and until now. It's been pretty crazy.
What'd you learn about yourself? What'd you learn about through what's happened with the whole Brendan Sorsby thing?
One, we have a very healthy locker room, and I think whenever you go through different things, that can, question your culture or shake your foundation. You find out real quick, one, about your coaching staff. You find out real quick about your players. Are they all in? And we've got a really, really good football team whenever it comes to our culture and, what they believe in and what they believe in each other. And then, it makes you go back and think, but I'm never going to question. I learned this from Gina Farmer. She was the AD that hired me in 2003. She hired a 31-year-old punk, his first head football job. And she said, whenever you make decisions based on a student-athlete's mental health and physical health, and you're putting them first, then you're usually right 9 out of 10 times, if not 10 out of 10. And I haven't changed that, and I'm not going to, but whenever you go through something like this, it makes you think like, are you doing the right thing? And I think whenever you're doing the right thing by your players, then you're doing the right thing.
Well, I think last season it's very clear that you have an incredible culture. And last year was kind of an experiment. At least that was the narrative around how you built your roster. And, man, you guys had it clicking from day one. So throughout this offseason, what are the core principles of that culture? And give us a peek behind the curtain in terms of just how unified this team is and has been through the process.
Well, I think whenever you're going through trying to build a team and put it together, I mean, you try to create shared success and shared adversity. And a lot of times that stuff is, you almost have to manipulate at times and make things really tough and then find different ways to let them compete and have success. With the stuff that we went through, I mean, it became really real. And so you bring a team, there's nothing like shared adversity. And we've gone through an adverse situation, so we had a really close team that has now become closer. And we have a really good football team. We have a lot of guys coming back. We have a lot of production that we added. I think we have the most production in college football on the defensive side of the ball. And so, these guys are ready and excited because they've been talked about a lot.
Yes.
They have taken it very personal. And it's not like any kind of vengeance tour or revenge or anything. It's not like that. But what it is we're going to be ready to play football when we kick the ball off, and we hope your team is too.
Do you have any sense of who's going to start for you the first week, and how's Will Hammond doing in his rehab?
I could see Will starting week 1. I mean, he's in a really good spot. If I had a crystal ball and could have seen all of this, my statement going into spring football would have been different, because my statement was I need him ready for week 3. And week 1 and week 2, the opponents might use this. I've said this all day. I'm not trying to take anything away from Abilene Christian or Oregon State. We've got to go to Oregon State. That's a tough place to play. But Houston should be undefeated. It's going to be a top 25 matchup.
It's a conference game.
It's a conference game. They were 10-4. Willie Fritz is an absolute stud. He's got a great football team, great quarterback.
Yes, he does.
And so my point whenever I said Will needed to be ready week 3, it was if something happened, I need him ready for week 3, not something happened ready for week 1 and 2. Well, something's happened, and we're not going to change the timeline, but the timeline, if you count 9 months out of surgery, which is usually an ACL, and it was just his ACL, fortunately, is August 21st. And so he should be fully released. He's thrown every player-led 7-on-7 that we've had, all our football schools. He has done all the routes on air. The first routes on air that he threw, I asked him how he was feeling. He said, "I feel electric, Coach." If you know Will Hammond, that's Will Hammond's personality. Will Hammond's personality, number one, was he was always the starting quarterback no matter who was on campus. Like, as soon as he was released, in his mind, he's believed that he was our starting quarterback. And that's just the type of kid that he is. I mean, you're not going to, change that in his mind.
I think collectively, like, there's other quarterbacks on this roster too, right, that people forget about. You had a kid come in last year that threw 6 passes and completed 5 of them and had a touchdown, and Lloyd Jones the third, 2 touchdowns
to Micah
There
Hudson.
it is, Coach. Yeah.
So
with those other guys, and Kirk Francis comes in and the Phillips kid, like, where are they at in terms of their development? Do you feel confident that, hey, even if, Will Hammond can't go, we're going to be fine at that position?
Yeah, Kirk's a vet, man. He's played college football, and that was the reason we added him. Going back to Will, I mean, if Will doesn't get hurt, we add a vet quarterback, but he was our starting quarterback. So we knew, that Will was going to be there at some point. But Kirk's a vet. I've been really excited with Lloyd. We call him Chubb. I've been really excited about him. He has really come on. And you're talking about a kid that's 6'4", 220 pounds, can really run. He's got that perfect quarterback makeup of, like, he just really doesn't – he cares, has a high care factor, but he really doesn't care. He's so laid back, and, like, people really – like, things don't affect him. So I'm excited about him. I think he's in a good spot. Holden Phillips has been in this offense now for year 2, and then we added Stephen Cannon out of Savannah, Georgia, as our freshman quarterback. So it's a strong room, and it's a collective group that our guys believe in.
You had a historically great defense last year. I mean, from a statistical standpoint, it was historically great. You have 9 players drafted, many of them on the defensive side. I've heard people say your defense is even better this year. That seems unlikely because you were historically great. How good are you going to be on defense? What are your expectations?
Depth-wise, I think one reason a lot of people are high on this defense is the depth of the defense. I mean, we have 6 defensive tackles that have played college football.
6?
6, that have started games in college football, and so you look at that. I'm really excited about this defense. I think number one, I have the best defense coordinator in college football with Shilwood. That is a great defensive staff. We had some changes on that side of the ball. We were really fortunate to add Coach Aubrey and Coach Smith, our defensive tackles coach, and our defensive end, outside linebackers coach. But it's led by guys that have been, like, Ben Roberts was, as a mid-year freshman, set in my first team meeting ever.
Wow.
And so you're led by the Big 12 MVP. He's got a C on his chest for a reason, one of our captains. John Curry's back. Brennan Jordan's back. A.J. Holmes is back. And Bryce Pollock is one of the best corners in college football. So you've got some really strong guys, and then you were able to add some guys through the portal that have, I think – I could get this stat wrong. Dowdy gives me all this stuff, but I think the only other player that has had 28-plus tackles for loss and 19 sacks in the last 2 years is Trey White and Colin Simmons. Those are the only 2 dudes. And Trey White starts in our boundary outside linebacker. He's pretty good, And so, like,
production matters.
I mean, David Bailey never had 14 and a half sacks in his career total, and he has it in our defense last year. And so there's guys that are going to have incredible years for us. The thing that I think everybody's high on in that defense, though, is the depth. The depth is, there is real depth in that defensive room.
Well, and I remember the last time we talked to you, you noted that, I think it was right before the draft, every single transfer
Yeah.
upped their production, upped their draft stock from their previous school
Yeah.
to Texas Tech. So what does that say about not just you, but also James Blanchard, the general manager, and then Adam Trick was the one guy that was highlighted as a newcomer that made preseason All Big 12, and it's like, man, you look at your two deep with all the depth, it's like you just pick one.
Yeah, he's a dude, man. I love Adam. He's like a Max Crosby without the tattoos. And really, when you look at him, kind of even physically, they look a lot alike. You know, the thing, I love you said that, and I appreciate that, because we get a lot of criticism that we just get these guys out of the portal. Well, David Bailey was second overall pick, and when he came to Tech, he was a projected third-round draft pick.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And so, and I want to give it a shout out to Glasgow, our softball coach. These players are coming to Tech, and they're playing their best football. Those softball transfers played their best softball, and so something's happening whenever it comes to coaching and the system that we're putting them in and the development that's happening. You know, you get a lot of criticism that you went and got these guys out of the portal. Well, these guys we got out of the portal were really good players, but they're even better players at Texas Tech. And that comes from our coaches. It comes from our personnel staff doing their research and picking the right guys, but it comes from our coaches and our culture and the development that's going on at Texas Tech.
Yeah, I mean, and again, just to highlight, you know, everybody talks about Texas Tech and the spending, but you guys were barely top 10 last year.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's the same this year.
Yeah, we're not anywhere close to the top.
So Tech is spending at a level of a lot of the top-end Big Ten and SEC teams, which is a good thing for the Big 12.
100%. 100%.
Tell me about that relationship continuing with James Blanchard. And I mean, obviously, he's a guy that is so instrumental in finding the right players.
Well, you know, the two that got on the plane, one had to, my wife. The other one didn't, but he did. And he picked and chose to come with me, and he stayed with me. He's turned down some really incredible jobs at great universities to stay at Texas Tech because he believes in what we're doing. You know, he has full control. We argue, debate, decide, but he's the one constant voice in the room, whether it's me or the coach's staff, trying to put this roster together, and we believe in each other. And man, he's a machine. The dude, if you ever, there's not a time that I do not, like yesterday, I butt dialed him and we spoke for 45 minutes, you know, and so, but there's never a time, day or night, 24/7, that if I call Blanchard, he answers the phone and he's ready to talk about anything and everything whenever it comes to our roster, you know, and he's really excited about this roster and what we can do with it.
Man, I know all the off-season headlines surrounding like college football big picture.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can start to focus on your football team, but like the Protect College Sports Act and the national championship game being late January this year, like the 27th or something crazy.
In Vegas.
The eligibility ruling that just passed, like college football playoff expansion, all this stuff that's out there. What's the kind of headline for you?
Man, just ready to get to camp.
Yeah.
But the headline for me, you know, I think the Protect College Athletics, that act is so important, you know, because we have to have something. We can all disagree and we can argue, and then we could say how bad college sports is right now. Number one, college football has never been more popular, ever, and in the history of the sport. But if we're really serious about protecting the game, and I mean all the games, all the sports, then we have to have this needs to pass. And so that's been the biggest thing for me. And, man, I'm telling y'all, I mean, I know he's people think and say a lot of different things about him. Cody Campbell's one of the most intelligent individuals I've ever been around in my life. He sees things in a totally different perspective. I know everybody thinks he has these scarlet and black glasses on and only sees it in Texas Tech vision, but he doesn't. He sees it in a whole different way. And man, I believe in that guy. And if he's pushing not only with his time but his money, he's spending a lot of money whenever it comes to this act, then it's good for college athletics.
Last year was a success, right? For
Yeah,
Texas Tech?
it was, man.
It was,
It was.
big time success, right?
It was huge. You know, that, I know you're fixed to ask a question, but I don't know if there was a university, maybe Indiana, of course, because they won it all. But if you talk about the whole from the start of the year until the draft, and we had so much
Yes.
we have and had so much momentum. There was so many great things going in the right direction, and so, you know, crazy things happen. We have adversity, and we're going to learn from them, get better from them, and August 5th when we report, we're ready to go, and September 5th when we play a game, we'll be ready to go.
Yeah. The only reason why I asked is because I remember a year ago being like, well, now you've got all this talent, like it's on you,
Yeah.
and look what you did. But it feels like nationally, I don't know, and maybe that's my problem is I'm concerned about what other people are saying as opposed to like what the reality is. You win a Big 12 championship for the first time. You get to the playoff. It feels like the next iteration is this year. The next step is this year.
Yeah, it is. You know, I'm hoping that it follows my first. So in 2005, we made the playoffs. We got beat in round one. Allen beat us, and then in 2006 we went 16-0. And so I would take that right now.
That wouldn't be bad.
That would not be bad.
Was that Kyler and Mike Evans?
No. That wasn't because they beat us in. Now we weren't in. It wasn't in the playoffs, but they beat us in 12 and 13 with Kyler.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I hope it follows that same pattern
Yeah,
from
it'd be
20 years
great.
ago. Appreciate you, Coach. Good luck
Yes,
this year.
sir.
Thank you
Thank
as
you.
always.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Joe McGuire, the head football coach, the defending Big 12 champion Texas Tech Red Raiders, joining us here from Big 12 Media Days at the Star at Frisco, presented by Modelo. Heard on TuneIn and watched on Big 12 Studios.